Hey everyone, it's Mr. Robinson here, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Robinson Spoils. Today it's going to be Captain America the Winter Soldier, which opened up with $96.2 million in its opening weekend here in the United States, proving once again that Marvel's unfair strategy of making us wait an extra week really pays off in the form of millions. Now, I've only done 3 videos where I did a spoiler review on movies. The other 2 were Star Trek Into Darkness and Thor the Dark World, because they had moments where that irritated me or made me love the movie even more, but I really couldn't say because they were spoilers. And there are a few moments in Captain America the Winter Soldier that I loved that I couldn't say because of spoilers. So the most obvious one is who the Winter Soldier is, which is Captain America's best friend during the World War II days, Bucky Barnes. In my review, I said that I personally don't find it to be a spoiler because I think, at least to me, someone who has a brief knowledge on comic books, I believe that the Winter Soldier's identity in the comics is such a big thing that it transcends into the mainstream to where everyone knows who it is. But I know there are some people out there who don't know who the Winter Soldier is, and that's perfectly fine. It's just, I think, getting Sebastian Stan, who's Bucky and Captain America the First Avenger, to be the Winter Soldier in The Winter Soldier is pretty much a giveaway of who the Winter Soldier's identity is. But what I like about the idea of Bucky being this adversary is that it's an eternal fight for Cap, because this is his best friend he's fighting. He may be brainwashed, but it's still Bucky, his best friend. Similar to Loki and Thor, where these two are brothers and yet they're arch enemies, which makes it even more difficult for Thor to really fight Loki, and he doesn't want to kill him, as we saw in the first Thor in the Avengers. Although I think after the Avengers and in Thor the Dark World, he's truly convinced that there is nothing good about Loki anymore. But let's move on from Thor and Loki. Another thing I really like is how this movie kind of acts as the centerpiece for all things past, present, and future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We learn that Hydra is still alive and is the compromised portion of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that S.H.I.E.L.D., when it was formed by Peggy Carter and Howard Stark, recruited Arnim Zola, who was the German scientist with the Red Skull in the first movie. I like what they did with him to make him look like his comic book counterpart, where they didn't make him just some computer with a big face on his chest with legs and arms. What they did instead was made him a 70s computer where his conscience was put into said computer, and there's a little camera on top which matches his comic book counterpart. That I find really clever, to take his really weird looking comic book counterpart and yet apply it to a real world setting, which makes it work for a realistic setting. They also do other things that I like. They hint at Doctor Strange. You go back and look at all the other Marvel Cinematic Universe films with this new info, like Jasper Sitwell, the bald agent who was in Item 47 and is usually around Coulson. He's a Hydra agent and meets his end in this movie. And then there's the funny-looking senator from Iron Man 2 who tried to take away Tony's armor, and he was the kind of the guy you like to hate. He's in this movie and it reveals that he's a Hydra agent. So you go back to Iron Man 2, if people really like that movie, to go back to it, like me, and you watch the scenes with him in it and you go, that guy's a Hydra agent. So that I really like. And also I'm excited for the next episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just to see what exactly is going to happen next. But I don't want to get too deep into the geeky stuff because I did another spoiler video with 2 members from Geeked Out Nation. One is Steve, who I do the Movie Backlot podcast with on the Geeked Out Nation site, and the other is Jess, who runs the comic book section for Geeked Out Nation. So I'll put that link in the description box below. You can go click it and watch us talk about, or nerd out about Captain America the Winter Soldier for an hour and 10 minutes. But there are other things in this movie that I like that I didn't want to spoil. There's a great cameo, I mean, obviously from Stan Lee, but there's a cameo from Danny Pudi, who plays Abed on Community, since the Russo brothers have directed some episodes of Community, and that I found really funny. Another thing I found really funny is in Nick Fury's tombstone at the end of the movie, it says, like, Path of a Righteous Man, which, for any film fan who loves Pulp Fiction, you know exactly what that's referring to. Before I end, I gotta talk about the end credits, or the mid-credits scene. But really briefly, the end credits scene, it's basically, after the final battle, the Winter Soldier goes to the Smithsonian, to the Captain America exhibit, to look at that panel where it gives Bucky's info so we can learn about his past, which, obviously, Sebastian Stan was signed up for a 9-picture deal. We'll see more of the Winter Soldier, and I feel that when Chris Evans' contract is done, he'll take on over the role as Captain America, as he does in the comics. But the mid-credit scene, Hydra is still alive, obviously. They have possession of Loki's scepter from the Avengers, which a lot of signs are saying that it's another Infinity Gem, or Infinity Stone as they're called, which, that's scary that Hydra is in possession of one of them, but that's not all they're in possession with. We get to see our first glimpse of the Marvel Cinematic Universe adaptations of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, respectively. We get to see their powers. I think they look fine. You really do get an idea that the two of them, especially Scarlet Witch, are fucking unstable. So I have a feeling that Joss Whedon will do a faithful adaptation of the two characters in the Avengers Age of Ultron. I find it really funny that before we get to see more of those two actors as play brother and sister, we get to see them as husband and wife in Godzilla, which is so close. I want to see it. But that I really like. I feel like it's setting up Age of Ultron more. Like, I feel Guardians of the Galaxy, while I'm excited for it, it's going to be more of a fun extra for Phase 2, where I think everything that needs to set up Age of Ultron has been done. But we'll see what Guardians does. I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's pretty much all the spoilers I have to say about Captain America the Winter Soldier. So, I mean, I really love this movie. Watching it a second time, I think I like it a little better than the first Iron Man, and that's saying something in terms of the solo movies, because the final battle in Winter Soldier was more climactic than the one in Iron Man was. But that's just me. And that's my spoiler-filled review for Captain America the Winter Soldier. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the movie, especially that mid-credit scene. Subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future. You can check out my other channel, AlexG8462. You can follow me on Twitter at AlexG8462. Follow me on Instagram, RealMrRobinson. And go like my Facebook page, /TheCinemasMrRobinson. I also have a Tumblr account, which there's a link to it on my YouTube banner. Share me with your friends and tell them about me. And remember to know it before you see it. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson, and I'll see you guys later.